Howdy! Hi guys. How's it going? Good day, good morrow, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome! It's Wednesday, not my typical night, but I was organizing my memes yesterday, which sounds super silly, but it was actually for a number of important reasons. One of them being that Q has recently just basically told us that they are going to be requiring us to use all of those memes and basically just start letting them loose on the internet. So that's going to be one of our missions. We got a lot of missions today from Q. We can probably go over those later, but those were really exciting because it's nice to have direction. There are some times that I'm literally sitting there like talking to my phone being like, Q, can you just can you just let us know what we need to do? Can you just like give us some direction here? Because sometimes, I mean, obviously at this point, you know, they say jump, we're pretty much gonna do it. And it would be nice to get some direction, although I understand why they don't do that all the time. Hi, you guys. How's it going? So we got some exciting news today with General Flynn. So that's gonna be the first thing I go over with you. And as always, the links are in the description as I go through them. They should be in order for what we talk about. So Flynn, the U.S. Court of Appeals basically ordered Judge Sullivan this morning to dismiss the case against General Flynn, former National Security Advisor, General Michael Flynn. Emmett Sullivan is the judge. He's a real POS. And so I had even had in here in my notes this morning that I took somewhere. Where did I put those? I said, but it's important to note that Sullivan has just been ordered to drop it. Let's see if he actually does, or if he comes up with tactics to stall, because these people fight dirty, as we know. So I had that in my notes this morning, and then sure enough, just a little bit ago, we get this request for clarification, or we don't get it. This is from Judge Sullivan. Filed a request for clarification and motion for extension of time to file reply brief. So this is basically just more foot dragging, as far as I can tell. We obviously knew these people were going to do everything they could to postpone this, stop this, whatever. I mean, this is literally, they don't even care that they look unjust, which is literally their job. They don't care that they look suspect. They know what this looks like. It is literally do or die for them, for these people. So it's no wonder that they're doing this. In the letter, it kind of sounded like he was saying, well, you know, you can they can order them. They could basically, what they could do was force it to happen now. I don't know why they didn't do that. It seems the order seems pretty clear, but yeah, I don't know why they didn't say that it has to happen right now. So that kind of left this loophole, I guess, for him to say, well, I'm still going to proceed with filing until I hear that, you know, I have to stop it. So whatever, we'll see what happens with that. Actually, General Flynn was on Rush Limbaugh this afternoon. I didn't get to listen to it, but I got to hear pieces of it. And he even said, you know, that this didn't mean that it was over. He knew that this kind of thing was probably going to happen. So, but I guess yesterday there were new notes that were released. They're calling them Peter Strzok notes from 2017. So here we are 3 years later, and they're still finding new notes in this discovery phase. And I think that might have had something to do with the Court of Appeals basically saying that they need to dismiss this case because well, I have a link. I have an article down below. It says a source with direct knowledge of the notes from Strzok told the Federalist that the new disclosures are, quote, explosive. Then here's a tweet that I also have linked below from Catherine Herridge. It says Flynn defense motion reveals recently uncovered Agent Strzok notes discovered by U.S. Attorney Jensen as a part of DOJ review. Strzok's notes, believed to be of January 4th, 2017, reveal that former President Obama James Comey, Sally Yates, Joe Biden, and apparently Susan Rice discussed the transcripts of Flynn's call and how to proceed against him. Mr. Obama himself directed that, quote, the right people investigate General Flynn. This caused former FBI Director Comey to acknowledge the obvious. General Flynn's phone calls with Ambassador Kislyak appear legit. According to Strzok's notes, it appears that Vice President Biden personally raised the idea of the Logan Act. So it was almost like his idea. He concocted what was going to potentially get Michael Flynn in trouble, and they were trying to get him to lie. They were trying to get him, get him in trouble so that they could get him arrested or fired. So all of that is coming out. That is massive. Speaking of Biden, this is another link that Q posted, and it was a really long video, and it's all translated, it's all written. So I don't know how many of you watched the entire thing, but it's a press conference, and it's Ukrainian prosecutors have updated their investigation on Joe Biden and Burisma that not only implicates Biden now, but also George Soros. So what started out as a $6 million bribe that everybody was talking about now looks far worse. It looks like it's a plot to snatch $1.5 billion from Ukrainian taxpayers for a, get this, corruption tax through overstated gas tariffs from Naftogaz. So we'll keep an eye on that. Q has posted that, so even though it's long, it's obviously important. I don't know what 10 Keystone High. He ends at 10 p.m. Oh, is he live right now? Yeah. I didn't look at the calendar. I basically just took over since I didn't do mine yesterday, and since Pink Patriot Hour is moving to Friday this week, I believe, I just took over their slot tonight because I do that. Wow. No, I asked them if that was cool. So yeah, I don't know if that's what you mean and the people over there, but no big deal. U.S. attorney in Manhattan fired after he refused to step down for new nominee. So this is in the Southern District of New York, and we'll get into why that is important in a second. Jeffrey Berman, the U.S. attorney in Manhattan, was fired on Saturday after high-profile prosecutor initially refused to step aside for a new nominee. Berman defiantly refused to step down on Friday after Barr announced, Bill Barr, that Trump planned to nominate Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Jay Clayton to succeed him. Justice officials said Berman's top deputy, Audrey Strauss, would become the acting U.S. attorney in Manhattan. So now why this is important, I guess the guy was in the job for like 2.5 years. He's kind of being obviously forced out right now. And why this is important is there are a ton of things that are basically being handled in the Southern District of New York. And here are a couple of them. I made a list. Just to name a few, because this isn't even all of them. The investigation into Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, Uranium One, the Trump Tower meeting, the Clinton servers, the Epstein residence was there. I believe also the George Soros residence, or obviously probably one of them, Harvey Weinstein, the 9/11 grand jury, and Anthony Weiner's laptop. I just spit. That's how excited I am. It's making me salivate. So those are all very exciting potential things. So I really hope that they're putting somebody in the place that is actually going to get some stuff done when it comes to the Southern District of New York. Even if it was just like 1 or 2 of those things, it would be absolutely massive. Like, for example, the Weiner laptop. There are so many different connections to that, and there's so many different things that could take down. So very interesting. Seattle police have confirmed the discovery of several bags of human remains on the city beach. So this was really weird. This was from the other day. I guess a couple of teens were like filming a TikTok video, and they came across this bag. It looked like luggage, and they opened it up, and there were body parts. And then obviously the police came and they found it said several bags. So 1 or 2 were floating in the ocean, and it's unclear whether they were dumped, on the site or whether they were washed in with the tide. But I'm not laughing about this story. I saw a comment that made me laugh, by the way. So this was off of Elliott Bay, and you know, very interesting. Some other things that we know that are going on in Seattle. I have no idea if they are connected, but you know, Seattle is just absolutely goners right now. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd detailed the arrests and charges of 17 suspects, including Disney and hospital employees accused of downloading or distributing child pornography featuring children as young as a few months old. So this was Operation Guardians of Innocence. It resulted in over 1,400 felonies against the 17 suspects. So these were really bad dudes. I'm assuming they're all dudes. The pictures that I saw were all of dudes, but I didn't see 17 pictures. So there could be some women in there as well. So it included 2 Disney World employees, a nurse, an undocumented immigrant, a 49-year-old Winter Haven man, and an IT specialist, Judd said, liked to purchase and digest soiled underwear. So some real winners there. And I hate covering these, but I always do, just because it's important to see the how much they're going after these disgusting people, and that's very good. So this is kind of out of order because I have some things, more celebrity news in a second, but that 70s show, Danny Masterson, has been charged with rapes of 3 women, and I guess that took place in the early 2000s. I'm going to go into the other ones as well, just because we're on the topic, because it seemed like a lot of Hollywood guys kind of took a digger this week. Movie writer producer Steve Bing, 55, jumps to his death from his 27th floor LA apartment. Former President Bill Clinton, a friend of Bing and recipient of his donations via the Clinton Foundation, also paid tribute to him, tweeting, quote, "I loved Steve Bing very much." Sweet. Hollywood executive David Guillod is charged with 11 sex crimes, including rape and kidnapping, for attacks on 4 women dating back to 2012. I guess he's a Hollywood producer and talent manager. And he surrendered to police Monday in Santa Barbara. He faces a total of 11 felony charges for the incident spanning back to 2012 and a maximum sentence of 21 years to life in prison. And then also, adult film star Ron Jeremy is charged with 3 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. So a lot of guys going back down. Actually, when I lived in LA, I had the same dentist as Ron Jeremy. And at least twice I had appointments right after him. And so I always used to joke with my dentist and be like, "You clean these, right?" Like about his instruments. He didn't think it was as funny as I did, but anyway. Oh, and then I might as well say, oh wait. Yeah, this kind of goes along. Comedian Jimmy Kimmel flees Los Angeles for a secret location after blackface skits and audio of him using the N-word to impersonate Snoop Dogg resurfaced. I don't know if you would call these resurfaced. I mean, I remember looking at these last year, the year before, whatever it was, and it's just really funny watching these social justice warriors eat each other. And wash my mouth. Why? What did I say a bad word? I never catch it. I never catch it when I say a bad word. Oh, you mean because of the dentist? Gotcha. Yeah. So basically, he's being canceled. He's in the process of being canceled right now, and is hiding out with his family apparently. Let's see, where was I? Because we skipped ahead. I hate talking about this stuff. We'll just go through it quickly. A report has come out that German officials placed children with known pedophiles for 30 years. A former chancellor of West Germany, Berlin senators, bureaucrats, and members of the educational establishment have all been implicated in a network in which pedophile positions were accepted, supported, and defended, according to a report in the placement of homeless children with known pedophile foster parents in the German government. Hold on, my mouth is dry. It must be all that good. Never mind. For over a year, researchers at the University of Hildesheim have undertaken the examination of thousands of files in the Senate Education Administration in Berlin. The 57-page report, which was published this week, found that a network of actors in the Senate administration and institutions of educational reforms during the home reform of the 1970s tolerated the establishment of shared apartments and foster homes for pedophile men. So this is just highlighting that it's important to look at stories like this and to understand that when we think about, we have been kind of trained to believe that pedophiles are just these these trolls that live under bridges that act alone, and they only come out at night and they look really scary. And no, actually they are sometimes people in very high levels with massive amounts of power, clout, etc., etc. The Trump rally in Tulsa. Did anybody watch the Trump rally the other day? Actually, there was the Trump rally in Tulsa, which was awesome. It was so funny. He's so funny. He kills me. And then there was the Students for Trump, I think, rally yesterday in Phoenix. And that was also pretty funny. So one of the, some of the highlights from the Tulsa, obviously when he threw the water glass, that was really funny, but he kept telling all of these stories. Like the story of him running down the ramp absolutely killed me. I love it when he goes off script. I love it when he just, he just feels like a buddy. Turning Point USA, thanks James, and hi. So let's see, what were some of the highlights from last night too, if I can remember. I was actually watching while I was at the gym. I kind of love doing that because I'll put it up on the elliptical or the treadmill, whatever I'm on, and everybody can see Trump on my thing, and I'm just like, yeah. And I know some people in their mind are like, yeah, girl, and some are like, go die. But either way, I am seeding the consciousness when I do that. They are, the more they're exposed to it, the better, guys. That's what I say. I love Donald Trump. Yeah, me too. He's great. Oh, he brought up Kung Flu again. Somebody just uncovered that during the Obama administration, they had used the term Kung Flu. There was an ad that said, be a Kung Flu fighter and get your flu shot. So that term actually was not coined by Donald Trump. I've been hitting the tanning booth. No, I've been outdoors. It's 300 degrees outside. I've been floating in my pool. Hey, Chris, you talk about Trump all the time at work. Flash flood warning from all the liberal tears. From Fluhan. Jim Acosta, he's... I still can believe that he might be a double agent. I still wouldn't be surprised if I find out that he actually works for us and he's literally there just to highlight how stupid they are. I could see that. Bubba Wallace, we're going to get into that. I think I just have a few more things here. So speaking of the Trump rally in Tulsa, I believe it was Brad Parscale put out a tweet about the rally, talking about, how many tickets were requested or whatever. And then this dude, I call him the bad dad. In fact, I think the link below, it says bad dad. And then it's a link to his tweet where he's literally just bragging about the fact that his 16-year-old daughter and her friends basically committed fraud. He said, quote, my 16-year-old daughter and her friends in Park City, Utah have hundreds of tickets. You have been rolled by American teens. Donald Trump, you have been failed by your team. You have been deserted by your faithful. No one likes to root for the losing team. Well, I got news for you, Steve Schmidt. I think that's his name. First of all, number one, it didn't do anything. When you request tickets, first of all, they had over 1 million requests for tickets. Obviously, that many people aren't getting in. And the rallies are always or typically first come, first serve. So it doesn't matter if 16 billion people requested tickets. It's still the people that show up and get in line that are going to get in. So they didn't stop anybody from going in. And I saw a lot of reports of, up in the rafters, it wasn't full. We are used to seeing his rallies be completely full. Well, you have two things going. Well, you have a number of things going on here. Number one is that some people are still timid to come out of their homes and get into big crowds just because of the illness. And so that's number one. Number two is you had the Black Lives Matter and Antifa people. They're literally intimidating people and scaring them away. And there were people with families. There were reports of people with families that are like, I'm not going to sit here in line with my children and have them get hurt, or have me get hurt in front of them, or have them watch this ugliness. So a lot of people left because of that. And you also had them blocking some of the metal detectors in order to get in. So they couldn't let people in as fast as they needed to. And so a lot of people didn't get in, and so they went home. So that's why it wasn't completely full. But, and then under that guy's tweet, this other just brilliant person was like, it wasn't just teenagers. I'm 60 and I got 300 tickets and I'm from Oklahoma and I'm a Democrat. Good job, dude. You had to make 300 email addresses in order to do that. Way to go. Way to spend your Saturday. Like, you could have made a pot holder or something, or like some friendship bracelets for your cats, but instead you sat there and probably, like, who knows, in the middle of your floor with your eyes rolling back in your head with your laptop. These people are nuts. Anyone else see the hunting Antifa video? No, I did not. I have not seen that, I don't think. Good point. It also highlights, you know, if they wanted to show, first of all, the fact that you can't, the fact that you have to cheat, the fact that you have to fight dirty, that should tell you something. Number one, it should tell you how scared they are. Number two, why are you proud of that? And why are you proud that you are teaching your children to behave that way? And, you know, to cheat, to get what she wants. That's why I called him the bad dad, because that's a bummer. You know, you're not gonna teach your daughter to grow up and have any self-worth if that is what you're just teaching her to win at any cost. Okay, what's next? Oh, 104 shot, 14 fatally over Father's Day weekend in Chicago. So 5 children were among the 14 killed, including a 3-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl killed in separate shootings. So this was the highest number of gun violence victims in a single weekend this year. So part of why I highlight this is because when we're talking about, you know, Black Lives Matter, when we're talking about police brutality or anything that people are protesting right now, what about these lives? What about, and this happens on a regular basis. Yes, this was a high weekend, but for Chicago, that's kind of pretty par for the course. And shouldn't we be worried about those lives? Shouldn't we be doing something about those lives, or is it only particular lives that matter? There were also 3 shootings in Chaz, or I guess they're calling it CHOP now, which I think stands for Capitol Hill Organized Protest Zone or something like that. I've got a link to that below, just the one of the third shooting, but it does mention the first 2. So the shooting Tuesday morning is the 3rd shooting in the CHOP area since Saturday. 19-year-old Horace Anderson and 33-year-old man were shot in the CHOP zone Saturday morning. Anderson was killed, and the 33-year-old remains in critical condition in Harborview. And there were a lot of people that were within Chaz or CHOP or whatever it is that were tweeting and saying like, oh, the police didn't come in, or the ambulance didn't come in, the EMTs didn't come in and help these people. Well, that's the byproduct, number one, of being autonomous. Autonomous means autonomous. It's not like, okay, we're gonna like build our pillow fort over here and screw everything, but mom, bring me the Oreos. Autonomous means autonomous. Like, you gotta create your own fire department, dude. You gotta make your own EMTs and find your own surgeons. Like, what, you guys don't have a lot of surgeons there? I'm like super surprised about that. So if you don't, I spoke to a couple EMTs. I have a couple friends that are paramedics, and they're like, if we don't have police there ensuring our safety, we're not going to go into an area that is unsafe. So It's unfortunate, but that is what you signed up for. Chop, chop. And then also, there's a video below. They literally set up a segregated park, in Chaz. So they called it the Blackout, and the guy comes up and he's talking to this girl, and he's like, what's the deal with this? They're holding up a sign that says Blackout till 8 p.m. And he's like, what's the deal? Can I get in here? Colombian. And she's like, actually, this is like just for black folks. So they're literally segregating people right now. So stunning and brave, and absolutely, actually he's like, I'm gonna, I'm Colombian, I'm whatever, can I go in there? And she's like, if you have black ancestry, or if you've experienced oppression because of you're black, then you can go in the space. So weird. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And we went through those losers, we went through that loser, we got to that loser, these losers. Actually, this was thanks to Lisa May. She posted this. It's a list of 269 companies that are supporting Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Last time we went over, I think it was last time, we went over that Black Lives Matter basically works with something called Act Blue, and those funds are just getting cycled right back into the DNC and to Democratic politicians. So those Democratic politicians have nothing to do with anything good happening for Black lives. So even if you're a person that says, well, I'm not all cool with like the George Soros thing, but I'm still going to be out here, I'm going to protest for, Black lives or against police brutality or whatever, understand that when you give your money, it becomes something different. And then these businesses are all basically supporting. I started taking notes. I mean, it's a ton of businesses, and ones that probably all of us use. 23andMe, which nobody should be using anyway. Adidas, Airbnb, Alaska Airlines, Amazon, American Airlines, AT&T, Barnes & Noble. I mean, you can go through the list and see for yourself. One of the things that I will say that the left does better than us, probably the only thing, is that they are better at, they believe in like this whole cancel culture, which I don't agree with, but we don't tend to vote with our dollars as much or stop supporting businesses as much. And part of that is because we kind of, we believe in, a separation between a person's, once upon a time, businesses did not used to get political. It was like the last thing that they wanted to do. In fact, if I had a business right now, there is no way I would have it on Twitter, because everybody starts looking at you like, are you going to make a statement on this? Like, the business is supposed to now have a standpoint on social issues, which is completely bizarre. But yeah, so we need to be better, I think. It's not just about that they're supporting these radical extremist groups. It's also that a lot of these businesses should go anyway. They don't have good business practices as it is. We should be supporting more mom and pop. Actually, one of the bummers was I saw Etsy is on here. And although Etsy sucks, there are lots of, individual people that put their businesses on there. So unfortunately, we just need to be able to create new platforms, I think, that can take over all of these super corrupt, all of these businesses basically work together. Whether they start off something small, they end up, hey Neo, I'm gonna make you a moderator. So anyway, if you want to vote with your dollars, take a look at that list and just, do what you can by not supporting those. I mean, Doritos. I haven't had a Dorito. Doritos are my kryptonite. Doritos and ramen. So I must have a thing for MSG, are my kryptonite. And I have not eaten a Dorito in a very long time. Actually, I had Doritos Super Bowl Sunday last year. I remember that. Twitter flags Trump tweet for violating policy against abusive behavior for threat of harm. So basically they added an advisory to his tweet. They didn't take it down for now, but we're getting awful close to them feeling almighty and doing that. So they put an advisory on it that says, this tweet violated the Twitter rules about abusive behavior. However, Twitter has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible. The tweet said, this was the tweet from Trump, said, there will never be an autonomous zone in Washington, D.C. as long as I'm your president. If they try, they will be met with serious force. That's not threatening. That is saying we're going to uphold our laws, which is what the president is supposed to say. Twitter said, we've placed a public interest notice on this tweet for violating our policy against abusive behavior, specifically the presence of a threat of harm against an identifiable group, the platform said. That's getting very... Doritos are literal poison. I know, they are the tastiest poison on the planet. Sorry, I'm a really loud swallower. Shouldn't eat anything in a box, a bag, or a package. That's true. It's also really hard. It's really hard to stick to that. I try to, but you know, basically just like eating real foods. But yeah, try to stick to that as much as you can. What was I just gonna go into? Because I had something else. Oh well, it'll come to me. The NASCAR stuff. NASCAR made a statement in the Bubba Wallace hoax story. The FBI has completed its investigation at Talladega Super Speedway and determined that Bubba Wallace was not the target of a hate crime. So the garage door pull rope fashioned like a noose has been positioned there since as early as last fall. So you're telling me that this dude who works for NASCAR for X amount of years and everybody that works with him has never seen one of those garage pulls before? Because I saw a ton of pictures yesterday of these particular pulls. And by the way, a rope with a loop on it is not a noose necessarily, you know? So that whole thing, I mean, he came out and made a statement today, Bubba Wallace did, and it was like a meh statement. It was kind of like he kind of admitted to being embarrassed, which he should be, because you don't jump to conclusions like that and politicize that and publicize that, because you are, until you have the facts, because it creates more division. And I believe that it was intended to do that. But then there's another video, I linked that also, a tweet with a video of him just coming up to some guy that's like sitting on the ground. It looks like he's giving an interview or something, and he just throws water in his face and then bails, and he just looks like such a pussy. And people were like, well, NASCAR dudes fight all the time. I'm like, that wasn't a fight. That was something that like a third grader does. So anyway, and I think I saw, what was it? His highest ranking whatever was like 38th place. So he's not even like that good of a driver. So I don't know. This guy's probably just gonna like go away, but from whence he came. But yeah, I didn't like that at all. Lincoln County, Oregon. Here's a good one for you guys. Lincoln County, Oregon requires residents to wear face coverings in public settings, indoors or outdoors, but only if they're white. The people, not the face masks. The county will not require non-white residents to wear them if they feel harassment. I'll just go ahead and let you ruminate on that one. Oh, okay, just a couple more things. One is I've linked a video below. This is a really good video. It looks like I have no background on this video. I don't know where it came from, but it looks like it was made in probably the 50s or the early 60s, and it is, it's called Communists Use Racial Divisions to Gain Power. And it's really interesting because it was made so long ago. But if you listen to it, it is exactly what's happening now. And it goes into how communists literally use racial division in order to separate us, pit us against each other, make a nation weak so that they can essentially take it over. So I really suggest that you watch that when you have time. I don't think it's very long. It was like 8 minutes or something. And then this is the last thing that I have just as far as links go. And this was from like a week or two ago, June 9th, I believe, but I hadn't heard of it. I just came across this today, so I wanted to go over it. A federal court trial underway in San Francisco could spell the beginning of the end for water fluoridation in America, potentially affecting drinking water for hundreds of millions of people across the U.S. Although fluoride can occur naturally in water, many water utilities add the chemical with the goal of improving dental health. But an alliance of groups led by Food and Water Watch, a government accountability nonprofit, have sued the Environmental Protection Agency to force it to limit or ban adding fluoride altogether. They contend that the chemical presents an unreasonable risk, causing neurological damage, especially to young children and babies in the womb. Water agencies began adding fluoride in the 1940s, and today nearly 75% of Americans on public water systems are served fluoridated water. And as far as I know, there hasn't been a verdict on this yet. So I'll keep an eye on it, and if I see anything, any updates on that, I will for sure let you know. But I'm excited that that is being brought to the public's attention, and fluoride is a neurotoxin. Hi guys. Okay, I can see the chat. I can see the chat now. Hey Rob. Praying they take it out of the water. So am I. Hey Kate, have you read Behold a Pale Horse? Because it really parallels what's going on right now in the US. Yes, I have. It's a very good book. It's actually in my book list. I have a book list on Instagram in the, I guess they're called, is it the stories? Or it's the circles that stay on your account. And I have, you know, some of the books that I recommend on there. In there. So if you guys ever want to check that out, it's there. Oh, and also somebody just said they ordered that book, but it's taking forever to get to you. There are 2 versions of it too. You want the original copy. You want the original print. And I used to know how to find that, but I'm not sure I do anymore. If anybody else has a, knows where to get the original print, because some of the things I believe were taken out of it. It's been edited some. So you don't want the edited version, you want the original. Popeyes, why would you eat there? Oh, tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, so what, 4 Pacific, I'm going to be on the Keystone channel. And let me get you the link because I forgot to put that in there, or if one of my moderators wants to do it because my computer's super slow. Oh my God, really? Wow, dude. I feel such pressure when you listen to me type and I'm like, dink, dink, dink. There it is. All right, I'm gonna give you guys, I'll give you the link in the chat and then I will add it to the whatchamacallit when I'm all done. So go over and subscribe to her channel. She's a hoot. We'll have fun tomorrow night. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Keystone. Have I read Snowden's book? No, I haven't. I'm not judging you. It's not that big. It's actually little. It's just because it's in front of the, Shut up, you guys. Quit picking on me. I am not a gorilla. Yeah, what else? I saw just before I was going live, there was some news coming out about, in fact, I think I retweeted it, about, I just remembered what I was going to say before. Put a pin in that. No, I forgot what I was just in the middle of saying. So we'll just go to this now. Parler. So there has been a push to move people to Parler. And I think especially after Trump got, the advisory put on his tweet, a lot of people were like, screw this, let's go move over to Parler. And we've got some big accounts that are moving over there and kind of advertising that they're moving over there. And so anyway, a lot of people are starting accounts. I'm not going to say that they're moving over there. And then because I think everybody's just kind of sensing that maybe Twitter is not going to be around much longer, or that we're going to need a backup. And I know a lot of people are getting frustrated at all the censorship, and that's one of the things about Parler is there's not supposed to be any censorship over there. So Q actually posted today and made it very clear that their wishes are for us to stay on Twitter, but then also make accounts maybe on, Parler and some of these other ones to have backups, to not only kind of convene and to exchange our memes and get game plans and things like that, but the fight is still on Twitter. And so my suggestion, this is what I have said all along, I will literally leave Twitter either when they force me, and by the way, if they force me, I might spring up on somewhere else, I'm supposed to respawn here, or if POTUS leaves. If POTUS leaves Twitter, I will consider leaving Twitter. But right now, this is the forefront of this war. We are in an information war. This is where it is happening. If we sequester ourselves onto Parler or one of these other platforms, we will just be in an echo chamber. It does us absolutely no good, other than we'll just get super comfortable and nothing will get done. So we have to force ourselves to just stick it out. Yes, I know we're getting throttled. Yes, I know we get attacked. Yes, I know there are big dum-dums that are still residing on Twitter that we still have to interact with, but that's literally our job right now. And we have to interact with those people. I'm not going to say that. We don't have to interact with those people, because I know that gives some people bubble guts to think of, like, getting into arguments. That's not what we're here to do. We're literally here to just be dropping information as much as we can. You could do it in the way of funny memes. It doesn't have to be something that somebody's going to necessarily attack you over. Funny memes are actually a really great tool that we have in our tool belt, because there's something that humor does by, it lightens things a little bit. You can also drop infographics or whatever it is. But the more people we have out there doing that and putting these things online, the more we win, because the more eyes we get on it and the more people we wake up, which is exactly what we're trying to do right now. So that was literally what I was doing yesterday, was I was organizing my memes. You guys, I am through October of last year, so not even an entire year ago, and I already have 6,000 memes in my folder, and there's going to be a lot more than that. So, but it's important. Not only I'm putting it together for something else that I'll tell you guys later, but also once you start getting memes and you start collecting all of them, they're useless to you unless you can find them in a timely manner. So I'm like, oh, I've got this perfect meme for this, and then I'm scrolling and can't find it. That meme becomes useless. So if this really is an information war and we are digital soldiers, then we need to, keep our boots clean and our socks dry. We got to keep our memes organized. So I suggest that any of you with an exorbitant amount of memes, such as myself, organize them. So this is what I am doing. You guys can do whatever you want, but this is what I've decided to do with mine. So first, what I do is I go through all of them and I put them in a memes folder. Then I go through them again and I start dividing them up into subcategories. So far, I have a Trump category, I have a Pepe category, I have a Patriot category, I've got, all the major players, HRC, Obama, Biden, AOC. I'm laughing because, you guys, my memes are so good. Some of my memes are so good, some of my memes are real bad, but all memes are wonderful. All memes are beautiful. A meme intervention? No way. When you come and grab my phone from my cold dead hand. How about that? I literally think in memes. Like sometimes when I'm talking to somebody, I just want to like take a meme from my head and just put it in their brain. And I think I was talking about this with somebody the other day. It was either the Journey to Truth guys or it could have been Nicole. One of the things I did last week where I was talking about language and how we started out with just a few words or symbols and things like that. We've almost kind of come full circle in that we're kind of getting back to symbols and visual representations of language. I am a walking meme. Your first book idea, the meme book. Actually, 2 years ago, you know those white elephant Christmas things that people do at Christmas? I found the best gift ever, and I actually am super annoyed that I gave it away because when you do those, you don't know who it's going to go to, and I could definitely tell that the person that got my gift didn't get it, and they did not appreciate it as much as they should have appreciated it. But it was, I believe it was called The Rarest Pepe, and it was literally a coffee table book full of Pepes. But it was an older book. I don't even really know when it was published. So it wouldn't have some of the like really great Pepes that we have from, all of the digital warfare that we've had over the last couple years. So that book probably needs to be updated, but I don't know. The ends justify the memes. Meme me up, Scotty. The meme you're looking for. Bye, Tyler. Yeah, I would love a coffee table book with memes. If you were really Pepe, then I'm your biggest fan. What else? So yeah, that was basically it. Just to stay on Twitter, stay in the fight. I guess I can look at the Q drops really fast just to see if I'm forgetting anything important. Oh, here's a couple. Oh yeah. Oh wow, there's been a lot since I. Hey Bob. Quantum computing. Are you asking me to go over that? Actually, I had a friend send me a video to kind of like force me to learn about that. So that's going to be a topic I'll be delving into soon. Just to research. I don't know if I'll do like a video on it or something. Oh, Keystone, when does he start? Was it Mimi or Mimi and Pepe? Oh, meme? Wait. My brain won't accept that, Rob, because all I see is meme and Pepe. And then I wanted to say Mimi and Pee-Pee, and I was like, wait, no, that's not right. Okay, let me look at these Q drops really fast, because the last one I saw. Why am I missing the one? Oh, nope, that's not the one. Well, I do want to go over this digital battlefield. The missions. Number 1, mission 1, dispute, reject propaganda push through posting of research and facts. Mission 2, support role of other digital soldiers. One falls, another stands, rises. So, a lot of times, like a lot of our accounts get taken down. We've had friends get taken down multiple times and then respawning. And that's what I think that we should be trying to do when we can. Obviously, Twitter has made that super hard for us. You can't even, actually Keystone has a video on her channel where she goes over all of the steps you need to go through if you want to create a new account if your account has been suspended, because even if you use the same IP address, they can get you. So you need to know how to do that. But so big accounts, you know, it's actually kind of amazing how big some of these accounts are getting. And not only that, but even with just a couple 100,000 followers, the engagement is incredible compared to like some of our biggest Q Twitter accounts have like, I don't even know, like 20 times the engagement of like a CNN that has millions of followers. So it's incredible to see how big some of these accounts are getting, but then a lot of those accounts make it a point to push some of the smaller accounts, retweet some of the smaller accounts. And I believe that Q wants us all to be doing that, to be connecting people. Unfortunately, for a lot of people that follow thousands of people, you literally can't follow everyone back, because then your Twitter becomes useless if you're trying to use it to find information or to see what's happening throughout, you know, the week. But if, you know, we can all start kind of connecting at those certain levels, like up until a certain point, I did follow everybody back. I still follow people back when I can, but like I said, I literally can't follow everybody back. But to start growing those people, recommending to those people, engaging with people, unfortunately, I get a lot of people asking me to like, hey, will you push my account and get me some new followers? Well, it even just happened to me today. Somebody did that, I retweeted them, and then I see there are like 4 other tweets from different accounts that are literally copied and pasted. So I'm like, is this a bot now? Like, I have no idea. So I typically don't push people's accounts, or I try not to push people's accounts unless there's somebody that I have a familiarity to, like somebody that I engage with every once in a while, because I don't want to be out there promoting. I mean, not that it matters too much. We want to be, you know, boosting people up. But I honestly think that's part of the reason why Q has kind of shied away from really queuing a lot of the larger accounts recently, it seems. I think that's because, I mean, look at what happened to, who was it, Corticon, who got queued recently, and like within minutes his account was taken down. So that seems to be happening a lot lately. If either POTUS retweets you or if Q queues you, you kind of become a target, I think. And so they take you down. So we want to make sure that we are building up all of the accounts so that if that happens, we still have these accounts where we, if you think about it, it has less to do with the person whose account it is than it does with that these are kind of the areas where we all convene. If some of these big accounts got taken down, then our community would be kind of scattered. So yeah, it's important to support each other. It's important to retweet each other and, you know, follow back when you can. Mission 3, guide, awaken others through use of facts. So ask counter questions to initiate thought versus repeat echo of DNC propaganda. So that's something that Q has taught us, is to, instead of fighting with somebody and being like, this is how it is, to ask questions. That is how Q has gotten us to learn. And it is in a very effective way to get somebody to accept information. Carpe Donctum. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Carpe Donctum got taken down permanently just recently. Mission 4, learn use of camouflage digitally. Primary account suspended, terminated, use of secondary. So I think that is basically them saying, I don't know. How do you guys take that? I almost took that as like, should we have backup accounts now just in case that falls? But again, I would think that if you're gonna do that, you have to use a different IP address. I don't know how to use VPNs. Actually, I have a friend that's gonna teach me soon. But I think that you need to use a VPN if you're going to do that. And there's also something weird about having the app on your phone and not using the app again, because it will be able to detect through the app or something. Keystone, thank you. Okay, yeah, go look at Keystone, the link that Keystone just posted. That is the video that she did about how to get a backup account. Mission 5, identify strengths, weaknesses, Regarding Twitter and Facebook, other example, memes, failure to read through use of algorithms. So basically, memes can get through the algorithms is what that means. Dependence on person-to-person capture, slow response time, unidentified users, and yeah, so those are our orders, digital soldiers, and I was excited to get it. What was this one? I'm gonna need to hop off here in a second. White Hat goes live in like 5 minutes, right, Keystone? Yeah, poor Keystone. It took her 8 attempts to get an account. Yeah, guys, well, that's all I have for you. I will be back to next Tuesday. Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 Eastern. And tomorrow night I'll be on Keystone Channel at 7 Eastern, right? So 4 Pacific. And everybody go, oh, Keystone, do you have a link to White Hat? If one of my moderators could drop a link so that everybody can go over there and watch. His show is new, but most people know him already, and he's already crushing it. He's doing an awesome job. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't been there or if you have, to go check him out. All right, guys. All right, I will see you next week.